Hi everyone. So in the last session we have seen the complete single linked list program, and next session we have seen how to write create function, and we executed a program only with two functions, create and then display. Uh, Now in this session we'll be going with the code of display function. I will explaining you how this display function code has been written in C program. And before watching this video, you need to listen what display or traversing a single linked list video which was uploaded in YouTube. And after listening that video, then only you need to come to this video so that you will be understanding. And that video gives you the complete explanation part of display function, and this video gives you the coding part of display function, right? So we already discussed that we are interested to implement only two functions, create and display, and then I'm taking one structure with two members, data and then link part, and which consists of three pointers, start null and then start temp start previous. The program execution starts from main. Inside this main, we are taking while loop, and then switch cases, two cases we are taking, and after that we are seeing create function, and in this create function also we are taking while loop. The reason for that is we would like to create n if we want to create n number of nodes, then what we need to repeat the block of statements continuously. That's the reason we are going to take this block of statements inside while loop. And when you are creating first time, and you already know this part is going to be executed. When you are creating second node, then this part is going to be executed, where we will be starting from previous, and then we'll be reaching up to uh, what up to the last node in the single linked list, and then we are establishing the links. And then after that it gives us a message, do you want to create another node? Means yes, I would like to create another node. Then I need to enter y means, and that y has been stored in C, and if that condition is true, then this block of statements are going to be executed. This is how the create function is going to be executed. And this display function, coming to this display function, it is the most important function for every operation that you are going to perform on single linked list. And after that operation, immediately we are calling display function, whether it was reflected or not. For example, I created a list. I would like to see whether the list has been created or not. Then I need to call display function, and then I need to see whether that list has been created or not, right? So after that I called some insertion function like insert first, and that means my intention is I want to insert a new node as first node. Then what happens is, after calling that insert first, again I need to call display function. Again I need to call display function to check whether the node is inserted as a first node or not. Like that, few things that I need to do, few operations that I'm going to perform. After performing each and every operation, immediately the function that I'm calling here is what, display function. And that much of importance is there in display function, right? In display function mainly we'll be going with two conditions, two things. One is condition if part, and another one is else part. In what case we'll be going with if part, in what case we'll be going with else part, I will be discussing with you. And before entering into the code of display function, uh, I would like to execute this program, and with only two operations, single linked list operations, create and then display exit. If I call exit means the program is going to be terminated. If I call create function means, then the program is the linked list is going to be created, right? So if I call display function means, then what the elements which are there in the display function is going to be displayed here. Suppose if I am going to call 2, that is displayed 2. If I call 2 means, then I am going to get a message like this. That means till now there are no nodes has been created in the list. If I call create function, the nodes will be created, but without calling first create function, I'm directly calling display function. That means if I enter 2 means, then I'm going to get some message that no node to display, no nodes to display. That means if I'm not going to create any nodes, and if I call display function, then display function has to give some message that no nodes to display. That is what the program is giving to us, right? So for that purpose, we'll be taking the first condition, that if no nodes are created means, then what automatically start contains what, null. If it all start contains null means, the meaning of that is there are no nodes in the list. Then what this is going to be printed, no nodes to display, no nodes to display. This was the first case, that whenever you are executing a program first time and you are not calling any create function, directly you call the display function, means at that time there are no nodes in the list, and this condition is evaluated. If this condition is true, then it is going to display this message that no nodes to display. Just I'm executing this, I'm not calling any create and all. I'm going to call display function, I'm going to enter 2, then it's giving some message that no nodes to display, no nodes to display, right? This is how what if part will be there. Suppose if there are some nodes are there in the list, then it goes with what else part, then it goes with what else part, right? So inside this else part, when will be coming with this else part means if there are some nodes, at least one node or two nodes or three nodes are there in the list, means then else part will be executed, right? Before going into this else part, let us consider a linked list. Let us consider a linked list which consists of three nodes. Let us take this linked list. Let us take this linked list here, and right. So this linked list consists of three nodes, in which the first node address is stored in start. First node address is stored in what? Start. Right now, I'm going to write one logic. I'm going to have a logic here, and I will be getting that logic also here. Right. So three nodes has been there, and then first node address has been stored in what? Start. Now let us go with this else part logic. What we have in else part logic, try to understand, because if you understood this display, then remaining things are very easy for you to understand. This was a logic that we have in else part. Right. This was the logic that we have in else part. Now, what's the first instruction that we have here? The first instruction saying that temp is assigned with what? Start. That means start contains 2000 and temp is assigned with what? Start. That means our temp what is pointing to what? Start. That means 1000. Start contains 1000 and temp also contains what? 1000. Right? In first iteration, what happens is just see a first iteration. And first iteration, what happening is I'm going to take temp is assigned with start, and start initially contains what? 1000. Start initially contains what? 1000. Right? Start initially contains what? 1000. After that, I'm going with the while loop. And what is that while loop is saying? Temp not equal to null. So what do you mean by temp here? What do you mean by temp here? Temp not equal to null means what do you mean by temp here? 1000 not equal to null. So condition is going to be true or false. 1000 not equal to null means condition is going to be what? True, because 1000 not equal to null. Condition is what? True. Condition is what? True. This was the first iteration, right? This was the first iteration. If this what condition true means, then it enters into the while loop. Inside this while loop, what we have? We are taking something like printf what percentile d comma temp arrow data. I'm taking temp arrow data means 1000 arrow data. 1000 arrow data means 1000 arrow data. What we have? 10 is there, so 10 will be printed. After that, next instruction is what we have? Assignment operator. Temp is assigned with temp arrow link. As I already discussed in the video, that so whenever you seen any assignment operator in the instruction, so first and foremost thing is we need to go with the right side of that assignment operator. Right side, what we have? Temp arrow link we have. That means 1000 arrow link we have. 1000 arrow link, what does it contains? 2000 it contains. 1000 arrow link, what does it contains? It contains what? 2000. And this 2000 has been stored in what? Temp. 2000 has been stored in what? Temp. That means 2000 is stored in what? Temp. Now the value of temp becomes what? 2000. Inside while loop, two instruction. One instruction is going to execute, what do you say? Print the data. Other instruction is used to make the temp value, what, from 1000 to what? 2000. From 1000 to what? 2000. This was the thing happening in case of first iteration by printing the value of 10 on the output screen and making the temp to move from first node to the second node, second node. Right now we'll be entering into the what second iteration. We'll be entering into the second iteration, and how this second iteration, what happening, just have a look here. Right, so this was the first iteration that we already completed. 10 has been printed. Now we are entering into the second iteration. Now we are entering into what? Second iteration. Inside the second iteration, what happens is we'll not be going with this instruction. So from this first right, and from this first instruction, from this first iteration, the value of temp become what here? 2000. So when we entered into the second iteration, the temp value becomes what, my here? 2000. So again we are checking 2000 not equal to null, means condition is what? True. And next instruction is what? Temp is assigned, printf percentile temp arrow data. Temp value is what in this iteration? 2000. 2000 arrow data, what will be getting my here? 10 will be getting. That means we have printed 10 on the screen. After printing this 10 on the screen, we need to make a temp, to move from 2000 node to what? 3000 node. In order to make temp from 2000 node to 3000 node, which instruction will be using here? Temp is assigned with temp arrow link. That means actually we have 1000 is there, so 2000 is there, 2000 arrow link, what we have, 3000 is there, what we have? 3000. So 3000 has been assigned to what? Temp, so that our temp moves from second node to what? Third node. Right, second node to what? Third node. Right, this is how second iteration is going to work. Right, now let us enter into the third iteration part. Let us enter into what? Third iteration. Now temp has been moved to third iteration. Again what happens is, while temp not equal to null, means what's the value of temp in third iteration? It is going to be 3000. 3000 not equal to null means again true. So next what happens? We'll be printing temp arrow data, means what happens? 3000 arrow data. 3000 arrow data, what will be having, 3000 and data, what will be having? 30 will be printed. After that we'll be going with this instruction, temp is assigned with temp arrow link. Temp value is what in this case? It is 3000. So 3000 arrow link contains what? This time it contains null. If it contains null, means what's the meaning in that? We reach to the end of the loop. Now temp is assigned with what? Null. Temp is assigned with what? Null. Now we are entering into the fourth iteration. Now we are entering into what? Fourth iteration. Right, when we are entering into the fourth iteration, the value of temp is what? Null. So here temp value becomes what? Null. Null not equal to null means condition is what here? False. Condition is what? False. If condition is false means then it does not enter into the while loop. And what we already printed three values. In first iteration we have printed 10, second iteration we have printed 20, and third iteration we printed what? 30. Right, like that, the value of temp, contains what? Some null. It is not pointing to the last node also. This is how while loop display function is going to work. Right, display function is going to work. Just have a look here. This is the single linked list that we have, and initially the start contains the first node address, and this was the code to print the elements which are there in the single linked list. The elements which are there in the single linked list. So the first instruction in that code is going to be what? Temp is assigned with the start. So temp is assigned with start means start initially contains 1000. 1000 has been assigned to what? Temp. After that 1000 not equal to null. Condition is true means then I am going to print the statement printf percentile temp arrow data, that is 1000 arrow data. That gives us what? 10. 10 will be printed. After printing this 10 on the screen, what happens is we need to move this temp from first node to the second node. After in order to move from first node to second node, first node link part contains what? 2000. First node address already stored in temp. So what I'm doing is temp is assigned with temp arrow link, means whenever assignment operator is there, it goes with right hand side. In right hand side we have something called as 1000. 1000 arrow link contains what? 2000, and this 2000 is stored in what? Again temp. Now whenever what we are entering into the second iteration, the temp value becomes what? 2000. And we are checking condition in the while loop. 2000 not equal to null means condition is true. After that, I'm going to print the statement that 2000 arrow data, that prints what? 20 on the screen. After printing 20 on the screen, 2000 after printing 20 on the screen, we need to move from second node to what? Third node. We need to move from second node to what? Third node. In order to move from second node to third node, what we need to do is 2000 arrow link contains what? 3000. So 2000 arrow link is assigned to what? Temp. So that temp moves from second node to what? Third node. After that, we need to print the value which is there on the third node. That means when we are entering into the third iteration, the value of temp becomes 3000, and 3000 not equal to null means condition is going to be true. And if that condition is true means I am going to print the data, that is 3000 arrow data. 3000 arrow data, what we have? 30 will be printed. After printing 30, temp is assigned with temp arrow link, that is 3000 arrow link. 3000 arrow link, what we have? Null. And null is assigned with what? Temp. Null is assigned with what? Temp. That means whenever we got null in temp value means the meaning of that is we reach to the end of the list. So when we reach to the end of the list means we need to stop the process of we need to stop executing this while loop. Automatically in fourth iteration, temp not equal to null means null not equal to null, condition is going to be false, it comes out of the while loop. It comes out of the while loop. Right, this is how what your display function will work. And same logic we are taken here, same logic we are taken. Display function, if start equal to null, then it prints that no nodes to display. When without any nodes in the list, if you call display function directly, first time when you are executing, if you call display function, then it gives some message. And when what some nodes are there in the list, then what happens, it executes the statement. Initially the start is assigned with temp, after that temp not equal to null, it prints the first node, and then from first node it moves to the second node. After moving second node, not equal to null condition is going to be true, and it prints the second node value, and then it moves from second node to third node. After moving the third node, this time 3000 not equal to null, and 3000 data will be printed. And from third node, link part contains what? Null. Now temp also contains null. Null not equal to null means condition is false, it comes out of the loop. That is how the display function is going to work. Right, so if you what understood this display and create function, remaining functions are very simple to understand, because this while loop what we have in display, the same thing will be there in insert after, insert before, delete first, delete node, everywhere the same thing will be there. So try to understand this, try to see this video a number of times so that you will be understanding this. Take pen and paper and try to trace out the code so that you will be understanding it clearly. Right, with this we completed two functions, create and display function we completed. So what try to execute this create and display functions in your computer and send that code to my mail id. I will be specifying you that mail id, and this will be your first assignment that you need to complete. Right, so this is how the function will be executed. Let's see execution part of this. Right, so I'm going to create the list 32y and 25y, 14y, 33y, n. Right, so I created some elements in the node in the list, that 32, 25, 14, 33, and when I'm going to call display function, I used to get those list of thing. Right, so in the coming video we'll be seeing about insert first and insert last, how the logic for insert first and insert last. Before before seeing this video, try to see the video of traversing a single linked list explanation part. Right, thank you.